João Palhinha, Luis Diaz and Mateus Nunes are just some of the exciting talents that have moved from Portugal to England in order to play in what is widely regarded as the best league in the world. But why are Premier League clubs increasing their focus on the Primeira Liga to scout their next superstar? Well, in today's video, we will be diving into why there has been a resurgence of talent plying their trade in Portugal and looking at three of the brightest stars to look out for from the Portuguese league. Established in 1934, the Campeonato da Liga de Primeira Divisão, which was later changed to the Campeonato Nacional de Primeira Divisão in 1938 and finally rebranded as the Primeira Liga in 1999, the Portuguese league has a long history of producing superstars who have gone on to achieve incredible things across Europe. Players such as Luis Figo, Pepe and of course Cristiano Ronaldo all came through the Primeira to win trophy after making a big move abroad. Not only does the Portuguese league produce incredible talents, but the league has also provided a foundation for younger players from England to move over and develop their own ability. Eric Dyer moved to Portugal at just 7 years of age and was enrolled in the Sporting Academy at the age of 8 after his PE teacher noticed that he stood out when playing football at the International Preparatory School in Lisbon. Dyer would go on to sign his first professional contract with the club at 16 before returning to his home country in the summer of 2014. Dyer isn't the only English player to have developed his skills in Portugal, as Marcus Edwards recently made the switch from Tottenham to Vitória de Guimarães in 2019. Edwards, who plays as a versatile forward, moved to Portugal in search of first-team football. Having been loaned out to Norwich and Dutch side Excelsior during his time at Tottenham, the young striker scored 23 goals in 77 appearances for Vitória, showcasing the talent which prompted the Vimaran Aces to sign him. His move to Sporting in the 2022 January window cost the club €7.67 million, with a further €500,000 to be paid if certain add-ons were achieved. Edwards would score his first goal against his former club, Vitória, and would go on to make headlines when he scored and assisted during Sporting's 3-0 away win against Eintracht Frankfurt in this season's Champions League campaign. So why is the Liga Portuguese becoming the Premier League's next big scouting centre? After becoming part of UEFA's top 5 league coefficient in the 21-22 season, the Portuguese league overtook Ligue 1 in the bracket, joining the likes of England, Germany, Italy and Spain. Since the switch, Ligue 1 has returned to its 5th place position, but this doesn't mean the Portuguese league has gotten worse. If anything, it's maintained the improvement which has promoted it to the previous spot. The main factor for a league's recognition within UEFA's rankings is the progression of teams from the nation they represent in the Champions League, along with other European competitions such as the Europa League and the UEFA Conference League. So how have the big teams from Portugal done over the years? In 3 of the last 4 seasons, Portuguese clubs have reached the quarterfinals at least, with Porto getting to the last 8 on 2 occasions, Benfica reaching the same stage once, and Sporting reaching the last 16 on 1 occasion. In the 21-22 season, 2 Portuguese clubs qualified out of the group stage for the first time since the 2016-17 campaign. In my opinion, the Portuguese league is a hidden gem of European football, and the competitive league itself, combined with the exciting talents on display and the interesting tactical approaches by managers such as Ruben Amorim, all combine to provide viewers with a different flavour of the football landscape. Where La Liga has a reputation of tactical excellence, Serie A has an image of physicality, the Liga Portuguese has an identity of aggressive, passionate styles of play, which are always going to aim to thrill the fans of the clubs in the league. Combined with this, the players have a determination and a close connection to their fan bases and are willing to put everything on the line to achieve a result for their loyal supporters, which is brought over by players when they do make the move abroad. This is why players such as Ronaldo, Diaz and Nunes are adored by fans of their new clubs once the transfer is complete. This answers the question of why English clubs are looking towards Portugal in search of top talent, but who are the promising players to look out for moving forward? In this section of the video, I'm going to be listing 3 clubs for the players I'm going to mention, a sensible option, a dream option, and a wildcard option of clubs that they could eventually make a move to. Up first, we're going to be focusing on Thiago Gouveia, a player who operates as either an inverted left winger or a traditional right winger, currently playing for Estoril Pereira on loan from Benfica. Thiago is a player who loves to pick up the ball and drive forward at opposition defences, and his dribbling ability is one of his best attributes, being able to retain possession under challenges being made, leading to goal-scoring opportunities. He has already scored 2 goals and provided an assist in the Portuguese league this season, with one of his goals opening the scoring in a 1-1 draw against Porto, who currently stand 3rd in the league. During his time in the Portuguese second tier, Gouveia scored 10 goals in 22 starts as a winger. Should he continue his development, the sensible option is that he would be an excellent addition for a club such as Wolves, who do have a strong connection with the Portuguese side of the game. Should Neto be poached in the coming year, Gouveia could slot in on his favoured right side, or if Neto stays, he could act as a protégé to Podence on the left-hand side. The dream club suggestion could be, now hear me out, but Brentford. If Thomas Frank wants to play a 4-3-3, Gouvert is a sensible option to operate on the left-hand side, supporting Ivan Toney and Brian Mbeumo, two players who work very well together and have a deadly partnership already. The fact that these two are capable of scoring goals allows for the pressure to be taken off Gouvert, as he can grow into the side game after game. The wildcard shout is West Ham United. Operating on the left-hand side would allow for David Moyes to play both of his wingers or wide midfielders as inverted players, ensuring that width can be maintained, but cutting inside and driving forward into the pitch is a viable option for both Bowen and Gouvert, capable of retaining possession well. Up next, we move to the defensive side of things with Gonçalo Inácio. Gonçalo Inácio is regarded as one of Portugal's most promising defenders, operating alongside Sebastian Coates and Mateus Reis. Inácio is best known for his passing consistency, with an average pass completion rate of 89.5%, ranking him in the top 20% of centre-backs across Europe for this attribute. He is also a defender with a strong interception rate and averages 2.75 interceptions per 90, ranking him in the 89th percentile for these actions. At only 20 years old, the sky is the limit for Inácio, who has held down his position for Sporting, starting all 6 of their first games of the season so far. This can only lead to a very promising career for the Portuguese defender, who has also starred in the Champions League this season with a very strong performance against Spurs. Averaging a 90% passing completion rate and having 99 touches, Inácio was heavily involved for the Verde Brancos while operating on his favoured right side of the back three. In terms of Premier League clubs Gonçalo Inácio could fit into, the sensible option is a team we have previously mentioned in Brentford, a team who do utilise a back three at times. Inácio can play either side of their central centre-back, providing passing consistency to build up play and operating in Thomas Frank's system of distributing out from the back. The dream option is Chelsea, one of the notorious back three teams in the league. With an ageing defence, Inácio could be the player to come in and be a long-term option for Graham Potter as he looks to set up the Blues during his tenure. With Azpilicueta and Thiago Silva at the club, two experienced and solid defenders, Inácio could learn a lot and develop into a stellar player for the London club. Now, the wildcard option is Manchester City. Pep Guardiola is a manager who loves to mix up his formations, and Inácio could be the perfect defender to add to his passing-centric style of play. With so much time on his side, the young defender being coached by arguably the best manager on the planet could result in a scarily good centre-back. With players such as Bernardo Silva and Ruben Dias at the club, I'm sure he'd be able to very quickly adjust to the Premier League at Manchester City. The last player we are looking at is Evan Nilsson from Porto. The Brazilian centre-forward moved to Portugal in 2020 from Tombense at just 20 years old. With an 81.5% pass completion rate, he ranks in the 96th percentile for forwards across Europe, which is thoroughly impressive at his young age. What is more surprising is that his defensive actions are incredibly positive for a player who plays further up the pitch, and this lends itself to the way Sergio Conceição wants to play, pressing from the front to regain the ball. The sensible club for Evan Nilsson, I would have said Tottenham before they signed Richarlison, so I'm going with Everton. Someone with such a high work ethic and knows how to put the ball in the back of the net would be a perfect fit for Lampard's side as they look to survive relegation this season. The dream club, we're going to stay in Merseyside, as I think Liverpool almost makes too much sense for someone that operates as a false nine, as replacing Roberto Firmino with his insistence on pressing and recovering the ball fits Jurgen Klopp's philosophy perfectly. The wildcard shout? Leeds United. Could it work? I'm unsure, but I think with Bamford and Rodrigo both susceptible to injuries, and Rodrigo also on the other side of 30, Evan Nilsson could be the one to operate in the forward areas for the Yorkshire club. His tendency to regain the ball higher up the pitch could also relieve pressure on the midfield and defence, allowing for a smoother style of play for Jesse Marsch. So that concludes the video. What do you think? Where is the best club for the three players I've mentioned, and why do you think that more clubs across Europe are setting their sights on the Primeira Liga? Let me know in the comments below and I'll reply to the best responses. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do click the like button as it helps the channel out a lot. If you are new, hit that big red button down below to join us as we march towards the target of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon for more sports content coming your way.